And share sound. There's only 14. This is going to be a short one. All right. Make sure there's nobody else waiting in the wings. I don't see anybody, so let's get started.
Select cell B14. Type =, open parenthesis, in cell B14. You will enter a formula to calculate projected annual expenses. This formula will add the monthly expenses in cells B9, B10, and B11, and then multiply that total by 12 to calculate the annual total. Click cell B9. You will start the formula by adding the values in cells B9, B10, and B11. Type plus in
plus B10 plus B11.
Type close parentheses.
Close the group.
By enclosing the first part of the formula in parentheses, you ensure that Excel will add these values together before performing any other calculations. Type *12 in cell B14.
Times 12. So this is one.
Excel will now multiply the sum of values in cells B9, B10, and B11 by 12. On the formula bar, click the Enter button. Excel performs the calculations as specified and returns the result in cell B14. Note that if you hadn't enclosed those values in parentheses, Excel would have multiplied the value of cell B11 by 12 before adding it to the other values in the formula.
That is order of operations. You could also do equals sum of these three multiplied by 12.
Click cell B6. You will use the round function to round the value in cell J6, returning the result in cell B6. Type =round, open parenthesis, in cell B6.
You can also double click on it. I won't let us do it in this part, but it will do it in the next part.
After you type the open parenthesis, a screen tip appears with prompts for the function arguments. First, you will enter the number argument, which is the number you are rounding. Click cell J6. Next, you will enter the num digits argument. Type comma 0 close parenthesis in cell B6.
And that means no decimal places.
A num digits argument of 0 means that Excel will round the value in cell J6 to the nearest integer with no decimal places. Click. Excel returns the rounded value in cell B6. Note that the round function affects the actual value stored in the cell, not just the way it is displayed.
All right, so clicking here equals, you start typing a formula like round, for example. You could just double click on it. It'll tell you right here, what number do you want to round? We want to round this number, and then by the number of digits that you want to round it to. So with this point, it's, I don't know, 0. And you can just hit enter.
Select cell E17. In the editing group, Click the AutoSum arrow. The AutoSum menu opens. Click Min.
Since max, min.
Excel enters the min function in cell E17 with the default cell range E16. You will replace this range with the desired cell range for this formula. Position the mouse pointer over cell E. The new cell range is entered in the formula. Press Enter. In cell E17, Excel returns the minimum value found in the range E4 through E14.
Right, so obviously you can tell this is the max, right? So the maximum number of years was 10, the minimum number of years is 1, and then you also would do the average. You could average them out. Maybe we'll do that next. You could also just come in here and type min and double click it, and then it tells you what do you want to min. And again, you could do this, comma, whatever. Or you can just select the whole range, right? Or you could just select a couple of them, this one, something like that. But since we want the whole thing, select it all, close it, enter.
Click cell E16. In the formula bar, click the Insert Function button. Excel inserts an equal sign in the formula bar, indicating you will be inserting a formula in cell E16. The Insert Function dialog box opens. Click the Or Select a Category arrow. Excel displays a list of function categories. Click Statistical. The Select a Function box displays a list of statistical functions. Click Max. The Function Arguments dialog box opens with text boxes for max function arguments. The insertion point is in the number 1 text box. Type E4 through E14 in the number 1 box. The number 1 argument represents the range that Excel will check for the largest value. Click OK. In cell E16, Excel returns the maximum value found in the range E4 through E14.
Right, so if you didn't know, like you couldn't remember the name of the function that you wanted to use, you could do it just like it showed here. Right, and then find what it was you're looking for, and then put all of that stuff in there. Or in this case, just type max since we know what we're doing, and select what we want. Oops. And close it up.
Click cell D21. On the formula bar, click the Insert Function dialog box opens. The insertion point is in the Search for a Function text box. Type median in the Search for a Function text box. Click the Go button. A list of functions related to your search term appears in the Select a Function box. The median function is listed first and is selected. Click. The Function Arguments dialog box opens. The insertion point is in the number 1 text box. You will enter the worksheet range for which you want to find the median value. Type D4 through D18 in the number 1 text box.
It should just let you select the whole thing. Oop, D18.
Click OK.
Yellow drag down.
Excel returns the median value in cell D21.
So median, right, is the middle number, right, from the highest to the lowest. Not necessarily the mean, which is like the average number. Also, since we know it's median, like even if you didn't know what exactly it was, you could just try typing median or something like that. It would come up, you could double click on it, and it just tells you, you know, enter the numbers. But so you can just select all of this, just quicker.
Click cell B7. You will use Goal Seek to set a target value for cell B7, the gross profit margin. Note that the cell currently contains a formula, a requirement when using the Goal Seek feature. Click the Data tab on In the Forecast group, click the What If Analysis button. The What If Analysis menu opens. Click Goal Seek. The Goal Seek dialog box opens. The first argument you will enter is the Set cell, which is the cell for which you are setting a target value. Because cell B7 is selected in the worksheet, the default entry in the Set cell text box is cell B7. You will accept this entry. Click the To Value text box. Type 0.3 in the text box and press Tab.
Which is 30%.
You must enter a value rather than a percentage here. Your target is a 30% gross profit margin, which you enter as 0.3 in the To Value text box. Click cell B5. Goal Seek will calculate what the value in cell B5, cost of goods sold, must be in order to achieve a gross profit margin of 30% in cell B7. Click OK. The Goal Seek status dialog box opens stating that Goal Seek has found a solution. Excel returns the solution in the worksheet. Click OK.
So basically that just did, if this was your actual revenue that you expected to receive, how much must the cost of the goods that you sold be to give you a 30% profit, right? It's a little bit of statistics in there.
The dialog box closes. The value in cell B5 is now $764,050, the value that is necessary to achieve the 30% margin now in cell B7. Note that the values in cells B6 and B20 have also changed. These cells contain formulas that are affected by the value in cell B5.
Okay, so we know that we want to go here because it says B7. We want to do a what if analysis. We want to goal seek. We're changing this cell by, and it says 30%, which is 0.3. And remember, it said not to put 30% in there. You had to put a value. And then we are going to change the cost of goods sold to get us the profit that we want. Click OK. And then I change that. And we're done.
Click cell A4.
A4.
You will start your series of labels here. Type January in cell A4.
We've done this before, right? So
you want to fill the column with the names of the month in chronological order. Start by entering the first value in the series to establish a pattern. Position the mouse pointer over the lower right corner of cell A4 until the fill handle appears, denoted by a crosshair mouse pointer. Press and hold the left mouse button as you drag the mouse down to include Excel recognizes January as the first month of the year and automatically fills cells A5 through A15 with the remaining month names in order from February through December.
And you can keep going. Like if you had multiple years, you could just keep it going. So we put the first month in. Oops, I didn't mean to hit enter. January. Then go down to this corner, it changes to a plus sign, see? Just drag it down. And see if we just went further, just keep putting the months over and over again.
Click cell B7. Position the mouse pointer over the lower right corner of cell B7 until the fill handle appears, denoted by a plus sign made of thick black lines. Press and hold the left mouse button while you drag the mouse right to include cells C7 and D7. Release the mouse button.
So see, it already has a formula here, right? So it's B5 minus B6 in this cell. By dragging this over, we talked about this before, it just brings over the formula and changes the cells to the cells above it, right? So it'll be C and then D.
Excel copies the formula from cell B7 into cells C7 and D7. Because the formula uses relative cell references, the formula does not return the same value in the destination cells. Rather, the formula references cells in the same column as each destination cell, instead of the original cell addresses in column B.
I don't know if it'll let us, but I can show you. You can just go here, and it's not going to let me do it. So remember, you just want to, but you also can do Control C. Oh, it won't let me do it in here either. But you can actually just do Control C, like copy. You can copy and paste it, right click, copy and paste it, or you can just drag it.
Select cell D5. Type =sign in cell. Excel will enter a formula in cell D5. Click cell C5. Excel adds C5 as an argument in the formula. Type / after the C5 cell reference.
Divided by.
Click cell C17. The formula in cell D5 now reads =C5 / C17, which means Excel will divide the value in cell C5 by the value in cell C17. Press the F4 key. Excel changes the relative cell reference C17 to absolute cell reference $C $17. If you copy this formula into the cell below, the reference to cell C17 will remain static, while the cell reference in the numerator will change to C6. Press Enter.
Right, so see, you put the $signs there, right? So $signs means absolute value. You can do $1 if you wanted to just do the one cell. You can also do $signs on both sides, so both cells would be absolute. Oops. And that just means the one that's absolute, like she said, doesn't change. So you're going to divide you would be dividing each of these numbers by the same number. If you didn't put that there and you dragged it down, it would go looking for other values down here for the other cell. Okay. So you can also just type it, right? So we know we wanted this divided by, now if you know what you're doing, you could just put this in here and then just go back in and put the dollar signs. Or, like she said, just press F4 and it does it. How does it know it's that one? Because it's the last thing you entered. Press enter.
Click cell B7. Type =sign B5, $sign B6 in cell B7.
Or you can do equals. We have to do it our way, but
Your formula will calculate the gross profit for year 2020 by subtracting costs from revenues. The formula uses relative cell references. Press Enter.
right, it's not absolute because there's no dollar signs in there, right?
Excel returns the result of the formula in cell B7. If the formula was moved or copied into another cell, the cell references would change to reflect the relative position of the destination cell.
You also can just do equals this minus this and hit enter. One second. Okay. So number 11.
Position the mouse pointer over cell B3. Press and hold the left mouse button, drag the mouse down until it is over cell B11, and then release the mouse button.
Select this.
The range B3 through B11 is selected. The Quick Analysis button appears at the lower right corner of the range. Click the Quick Analysis button. The Quick Analysis gallery appears with options for formatting, charts, totals, tables, and sparklines. Click Totals. The Totals gallery appears with options for formulas you can apply to the range. Click the Sum option with the blue row at the bottom of the worksheet icon. Excel inserts the sum formula in cell B12 and returns the total of the range B3 through B11.
Okay. So there's a bunch of different ways you could do that, right? You could, highlight this, or you could actually click here and click auto sum. You can do equals sum and select all of this, or the way that she just did it was select all this, click the analysis button, go to tools or totals, and then click sum. And then you would just drag this box over and you can sum all the columns.
Select cell B2. Click the Formulas tab on the ribbon. In the Function Library group, click the Date and Time button.
In time.
The Date and Time gallery appears. Click Today. The Function Arguments dialog box opens, explaining that the Today function takes no function arguments. Click OK. In cell B2, Excel displays the current date.
Once you use Excel more often, you would just automatically remember that to enter the thing. It's just enter today. Double click it and there's just no value in there, right? And that gives you the today's date. Instead of trying to look like, where was that date and time thing?
Select cell E5.
Okay, E5.
Type =Vlookup, open parenthesis, C5, comma, H4 through I8, comma, 2, closed parenthesis, in cell E5.
Vlookup. C5. Oops, C5, so it goes over there and gets that. Then comma, and then it's your range of cells, H4 to I8, and then 2. And
the Vlookup function will look for the performance rating value in cell C5 in the lookup table, defined as the range H4 through I8. The function will then return the bonus percentage value found in column 2 of the lookup table. Since the optional parameter in the Vlookup function is not defined, the function will search for an approximate match to the value in cell C5. Press Enter.
so what do you think this is going to find? Oops.
Excel returns the result of the Vlookup function in cell E5.
So, right, this was a 4, so it pulled 5%. Again, you could just drag this down and it would fill that formula in all of those places. But if you were doing it the first time, you could do Vlookup, double click on it, and it tells you which value do you want to look for. So we want to find this formula or this value, put a comma, and then it says your table range array is all of this, right? So if it was a 1, it would be this, a 2, right? And then column index number of 2. %. Last one.
Select cell F4. On the formula bar, click the Insert Function button.
Insert function.
Excel inserts an equal sign in the formula bar, indicating you will be inserting a formula in cell F4. The Insert Function dialog box opens. Click the Or Select a Category arrow. Excel displays a list of function categories. Click. Excel displays a list of logical functions in the Select a Function box. Click If.
If.
Click OK. The function arguments dialog box opens with text boxes for entering function arguments. The insertion point is in the logical test text box, which will contain the argument that represents the condition the function will check for. Type E4 greater than sign 0 in the logical test box.
If E4 is greater than 0,
the if function will test for a value greater than 0 in cell E4. Press Tab.
so if this is true,
The insertion point moves to the value if true box. Type yes in the value if true.
put a yes.
If the value in cell E4 is greater than 0, the if function will return a yes value in cell F4. Excel automatically inserts quotation marks around text values, but the quotation marks won't appear in the value returned by the formula. Press
Then,
Tab.
if it's not greater than 0, obviously, you're going to want to say no.
If the value in cell E4 is less than or equal to 0, the if function will return a no value in cell F4. Click OK. Excel returns a result of yes in cell F4, and the completed formula for the if function appears in the formula bar.
All right. Doing some housekeeping stuff here for who showed up for today. All right, let's get on to the project. Oh, we got to finish this first. Formula. Again, we want logical, but if you want to do an if statement, right? You can also just do equals if. It brings that up. Double click it. Your first logical test, right? So you want to know if this is greater than 0, then yes. So you have to not forget the quotation marks because it's text you're putting in there, right? You could also put a number. So if you wanted true to be a 1 and false to be a 0, you could do that. If yes, otherwise it's no. And there you go. Any questions on that before we start the project?
No, it's all good, boss.
Just you, I think. So, right. Let's just do the project real quick. Well, it's probably not real quick, but project 1. Start. Download. Instructions. I'm going to move the instructions over to my other screen so I can make this one full screen. Okay. Now, remember, always save it first. Documents. Change this to number 2. Click up. Switch to orders. Orders worksheet first. In cell A2, insert now. A2. equals, this is a now function. Turn a now function. And remember, typically, just like today, it would be no data. And that puts the actual day and time it is right now, right? Obviously, now. Record the current day and time. The data section, transaction growth. Keys enter the formula into cell 06 to 010 here. So here's your formula to calculate the max, the highest amount. He notices that all the values in the range are 1408, even though the box set moved. So obviously what's wrong here is he used absolute value up there. So basically you'd want to just take out this. So the absolute value is good only if you want the range to stay the same every time, but we want each column or each row to be separate, right? So just change that, then you can go back up here and then just drag all this down, and then it changes all the values.
I thought on that last feature you can just press F4, or can you not?
Oh, to unvalue it?
Yeah, so pretty much going back to that and then just pressing F4.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oops.
Is that, can we do it like that also?
If it lets you do that, let's see, F4. Yeah, that changed it. So yeah, whatever works. But then it said also copy. Where's copy at? Over here. Copy. Paste formulas. So by not dragging it down, right? So we could do that as well, right? If we drag it down, what it did was it made everything look like the first one, right? So you don't want to do that. So if you copy it and then just paste the formula, you can do it like that. And then it keeps the formatting in each line the same. But then it changed it from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. Good, good. We're on number 3, cell P6 here. So now we're going to do, so this one was the max, right? So now we're going to just do the min. So just do the same thing. Equals min. You can double click it, and then you can drag your what you want to put in there, the range, and then do the same thing, copy it, and then paste just the formulas. So the smaller should be 67, which is right here, 112, 136, and 508. That should take care of 3. The worksheet will also show the average number of orders fulfilled for each column in this section above. Average here. So in cell B12, create a nested formula using the average and round functions to first find the average number of boxes sold in January, the range, and then round to 0 digits. So I think we do equal, we're going to round, and then inside of the round function, we're going to do average of this and 0 digits. I think that's right. 254. Because if we did just average equals average of this, what the hell did I just do? Equals average of this. Still 254, but oops. That one just works out, I guess. But see, this one would be 591.50, and it just wanted the whole number. So you do the average, and you want that whole average rounded. So you put the round in there, and then you round it by no digits. And that gives 254 point. Well, it wouldn't be 0.0. I just extended it, but because I just wanted to see the difference. So you're rounding the average of these numbers to 0 decimal places. And then all the way, copy the formula to C12 and 12. And it changes every time because we're not using absolute values. Okay, number 5. Now we're on inventory tracker. Use autofill with the values in the range B15 and Q15 to extend these series of the months. So we go here, and we can just drag this out. So March, April, May, June, July, out to December. E15, M15. I wonder if you can do, that's flash fill. Just trying to see if there's other ways to do stuff that might be easier. All right.
Yeah, well, don't you, if you put fill right, maybe it'll fill up the rest?
Oh yeah, like here. Let's see. Let's go back. So you're talking about go highlight this, go up here and fill right?
Yeah. Does that do it or no?
No, because it would.
You need an example though, don't you? So you got to click that one and then check that and then put fill right.
How about if we do this?
Oh, it's the same thing. All
Oops. Yeah.
right. Let's see if we can
Right.
do it.
Yeah. That just took
No.
that took the
It's
example
the
from
same
over
one.
there.
Okay.
You only actually have to highlight one, but just because it knows that it's months, so it's automatic. Like if this was a 1, a 2, and a 3, it would know to put 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because it would just guess that that's what you wanted. So
Correct. It's automatic.
but if it was like weird numbers like 0, 1, 4, then it wouldn't know what to do. All right, so that was 5. Now 016, which is here. We're going to use the max function through M16, right? So it's the same as up here. So you could actually take this, Control C, put it down here, Control V, and then it should have done max B16 M16. Since it's the same formula. And then you can copy it, paste it down here. Oops. Just paste the formulas. Make sure I didn't go further than I was supposed to go. 17 to 23 without formatting. Yeah, we did that. All right, switch to product lookup. So any questions on that? See a lot of different ways you could do it, right? So you could have retyped the max formula and then dragged it over, or since this one was already max, just like this one is min, same as up here, we just copied it down, and it automatically knows to take the same range of cells, but just in this row.
So it's pretty much only if it sees a pattern, correct?
Yeah, right. So like if this, like if for some reason this was only half a year, then it would just be confused, right? Because it would want to use all the same cells as up here, down here, right? So that wouldn't work. But since they're the same number of months or whatever, the same number of cells, it knows that it's just going to read those same number of cells in this row that they're in now. Product lookup. Okay, we're on number 7. Switch to product lookup worksheet. The last person in the workbook mistakenly pasted 100 into cell B10. B10, yeah, who would do that? Nobody would type 100. Change the value to 100 to eliminate the error message. Okay. I'd like to find the person that actually took the time to write 100. I don't think anybody would do that. All right. The data section, box set information down here. In cell B16, create a formula using the sum function. In cell B16 equals sum of to find the total calories in Munchie Man's box set by setting the totaling the calories from baked goods, bar clusters, and granola. Baked goods, bar clusters, and granola. So just put a comma between each one, and popcorn. Close it out. Did I miss anything? Munchie Man totaling the calories from baked goods, bar clusters, granola, and popcorn. That was 8. Number 9, C14. So count A, it says. Double click it to count the number of components in the Fitbits box set P20 to F20. In this range, so P20 to F20. So these ones don't have anything in them, so it's just not going to count those. So we should get a number of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then copy the formula, right? So copy, paste formula. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that worked. So now we're on number 10. Product information over here. Cells, the format the section as follows. Apply the input cell style to I5. What am I doing? All right. The data section. input. Cell style. Input. Input. And then output for I6 to I8. Those three. Output. And then I9. This one is calculation. Calculation. Good. I6. We're going to do a Vlookup. So put that in there. And then we're looking up the number of calories in a selected box set. Use the box set listed in cell I5. So sweet stuff. So we're going to look over here. Sweet stuff, the number of calories. Then the range of A14 to D17. A14 to D17. Column number 2 and false. And it says oops, this should be this. Because that's user input, right? So they're going to pick one of these things, and then it's going to fill in that information here. False. So sweet stuff has 363 calories. It has 5 components and 29 net ounces. So I9 create a formula using a function that first adds the selected box's net weight. So let's see, equals the net weight here, I8 plus the packing weight in E5 here, and then divides that all by the value by 16. So ounces divided by 16 gives you pounds, right? So we're going to add the weight of this plus the weight of the packaging material. That's ounces. This is ounces. Then we're dividing it by 16 to get pounds. All right, number 13 says the delivery service used by the company charges a higher rate for packages weighing over 3 pounds. So see, this one's over 3 pounds, right? So we're going to do an if formula. So equals if, and we're going to say if this is probably greater than 3, then we're going to say yes, it's overweight. If it's not greater than 3, it's not overweight. Wasn't done. Better make this lowercase. Since it says lowercase in the thing, I don't know if that'll kick us back as a good or bad. Let's see. All right. So obviously this is over 3 pounds, so we get yes, it's overweight. The company can make more profit by keeping shipping costs to a minimum. Keith has been put in charge of packaging design. He needs to figure out the weight of packaging can keep even the heaviest box from being overweight. So goal seek analysis. So you sell I9 as the cell to set. So I9 data, what if, goal seek. So if I9 to 2.9 by changing E5.
Where did you go to get the goal seek again?
Data
Okay.
up at the top, and then what if analysis over here,
Okay.
forecast, and then
Got the little drop down menu, right?
yep, and then it's goal seek under there. Keep the values generated by the goal seek analysis as the values for selling 5, I9, and I10. Okay. So for this to stay under 3 pounds, packaging material has to be 17.4 ounces. And I think.
So the overweight changed now.
Right, and then overweight changed, right? Yeah, because it was less than 3 pounds.
Right.
So the whole point of the goal seek is to find out how can we not be overweight. If we know this can't change weight-wise, how much packaging material do we need to use to keep it under 3 pounds? I think that's all we need to do, right? Let's turn it in and see how we did. Save. Upload. Documents. Documents. Submit. View report. Let's see what messed here. That's what happens when I screw around with everything. It's like screw something up. All right. Copy the formula for. I'm just going to move this over here so we can fix what we missed. Were you actually doing yours now, your project?
No, I was just watching you the whole way.
All right.
So I know what not to do when I do mine.
All right. It says, what did I miss up on? I messed up on number 4. The worksheet will show the average number of orders fulfilled for each column and section above. In cell B12, use the average and round functions to first find the average number of boxes in the range P6 to P9 and then round the edge. Yeah, well, what's wrong with that? You don't like that? Oh, did I go too far? No, C12, 10, 12. All right, let's erase that. Start over. Create the formula. All right, so we know we want to round, and then we want to average that round. We're averaging this, and we're rounding it by 0.
That's the same thing you did last time, so I don't get what's the big deal.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. But, you know, I was screwing around with it, so I might have just didn't like the way I did it. And then the only other thing we missed was the Vlookup thing. He didn't like that. This one. And a cell I6. I6. In the product lookup worksheet, the formula in cell I6 contains absolute references to cell I5. Maybe didn't like the way I did that one either. So look up. And then this, change to that. E14 here to D17 there. Look about range of E14 D7 table range, column number 2, comma, and false. False. Same thing, but we'll just refresh it. Try again. Hope I can exit out of here. All the way back.
Let's see what happens this time.
Yeah, might as well. It's always really stupid mistakes half the time. I was helping Michael last time, and he had 2 small mistakes that gave him he only ended up getting 88%. And we looked through it, and it was just he missed 2 periods out of the whole thing, like in the little sentence. It's like you miss one stupid little period, and you miss the whole question.
For the whole thing, right? I see.
Like he did everything right, he just didn't put a period, right? So it was like stupid. But all right, still it doesn't like what I'm doing. Same 2 problems. Create the formula using a function. I don't know. Not sure what's wrong here. All right. Back over here. Doesn't like the way that I'm averaging this. The average number of orders fulfilled for each column above. In cell B12, create a nested formula using average. B6 to B9. Oh, I did total. That's what I messed up there. I included the total.
Oh, so it's only supposed to be 6 through 9?
It's only supposed to be B6 to B9. Oh, that was stupid. Oops. Move this up to here. And then copy this over. There we go. Not the totals. All right, so B6 to B9. So make sure you don't miss that one. And then, what the hell am I doing wrong on this one? Vlookup one. In cell I6, which is here, I6, Vlookup function to display the number of calories in the selected box set. With I5, right? So I5 is there. B14 or A14 to A, B, C, D. Yeah. D17, A14 to D17. Column 2, false. Use absolute reference, which we did up there for I5. I honestly don't know what's wrong with this one. It says B. Oops. Yeah. The product lookup worksheet in formula I6 should contain absolute references to cell I5 in the range of A14 to D17. Maybe it wants us to do something like this. Maybe we have to do it this way. Look up. So it must want us to do this. So I5 table array A14 to D17 column index 2. I'll be really irritated if this is actually the reason. Same answer. In cell I6, create a formula using the Vlookup function to display the number of calories in the selected box set. Use the box set listed in cell I5 as the lookup by the range, table array, column. Yeah, I don't know. Oh well, we'll try one more time. Yeah, just doesn't like that one. So I don't know. I guess if this is if everybody else has the same problem, then we will have to modify everybody's score.
So that's the only ding, right?
Yeah, that's the only one. So I'm not sure what the problem. I must be missing something. So anyway, if you do it and you get,
I'm gonna try to figure it out. If I know, then I'll let you know.
yeah, then let me know what I missed, what I did wrong. Like I can't figure out what I did wrong here. So, but if you get the same problem, then I'll just give you those 7 points. So, which would be 100. Cool. Stop recording.